Hi, welcome. Simon here, and hope you're doing well. In this video, I'll walk you through step by step on how to set up a new router. Here I have the TP-Link, which is the business network solution. So if you're looking for a business enterprise level, not really enterprise, like a small business level, then this might be a good fit router for you. So it does comes with the 1 gigabit SFP WAN port. All right, it has 5 gigabit RJ45 port, which means you have one WAN or two WAN/LAN or two LAN. I'll show you what that means. So if you take a look at the router, here you can see that the SPF WAN allows you to set it up here. You just have to pull this little plastic cover off. So there's SPF WAN. Now this WAN here is just dedicated for one internet service provider, but if you want to have a failover, meaning that if this network goes down or if this internet company goes down, you want to have the second one to pick it up and you do not have a downtime in your office. So downtime at the office is one of the major things that everybody would go angry about. Your customer is going to call you and says, I don't have internet. Well, it's not your fault, it's not the equipment, it is the internet provider that has gone down. So you have the failover for second port, or you can have the third failover on a third port. All right, so there are three redundancies here. I don't think three internet company goes down at the same time. If three internet goes down at the same time, then more likely there will be a natural disaster at your place. I don't know, right? It could be a fire in a building, or it could be earthquake. I don't know. I'm just saying it cannot be three redundants and you still have bad internet. Now you do have LAN here, or you can just install one WAN and have 4 LAN, up to you, but you should have one LAN that comes out and go into a managed switch or a regular unmanaged switch. All right, I'll walk you through. I just explained to you what this router is, what the router can do, and I'll try to set up the VPN as well. So this video will talk a little bit about VPN, a little bit about static IP, a little bit about here and there. This is my first time using this router, so I'm a bit rusty when it comes to a new stuff like this, because they have all different interface. But I just want to generally walk you through the VLAN. What is the VLAN all about? All right, so let's just say that this is your internet service provider. So I'm just going to draw like a little nice cloud that provides internet into this router here. So this is going to be your TP-Link. All right, so this is your TP-Link router. Assuming that you have 2 or 3 separate level in your office. Okay, so let's say you have one router comes in, you want to have 2 separate VLAN or 3 separate VLAN, whichever you want to configure. And I'll walk you through how to do it. I'm just explaining to you what is the pro and the con, or maybe the pro side of having a VLAN. Okay, why VLAN? Okay, let's just say that the router comes in and you have let's just say this office here. I'm going to say level 1, and then you have a level 2, and then you have a level 3. Okay, so let's just say level 1 is all for the supervisor, the CEO, right, the manager. And level 2, let's just talk about production, okay, or maybe front desk. And level 3, we're just going to talk about the IT department. Okay, so now you need why VLAN, because when you set up a VLAN, let's just say this is VLAN 1, VLAN 2, and this is VLAN 3. Why you have all different one? Because you can assign an IP address. So let's just say you assign this IP address 10.20.10.1. You can assign this IP 192.168.0.1, or you can assign this IP 192.168.100.1. Okay, so in other words, meaning that all the computers here, so if you have a CEO with a computer and then a manager, another computer, you have a printer right here. Okay, so what it means is that this PC, this printer, they are all tied up to this IP address. So the level 2 production, this guy right here, and just a new guy that got hired and he tried to print, and his IP address is in a VLAN of 192.168.0.1. So this guy would not be able to print off of the manager printer, right? So you're separating them. But if you use a router that has the same IP address, maybe you have this smart little guy and is trying to print off of the CEO printers or the manager printer. Maybe he has a computer right here, right? You have another printer right here. And then the IT department, let's just say they have surveillance camera. So they have a camera, okay? They have the camera, IP address, and let's just say that the IP address is 192.168.100.1. And they do not want other employees like this guy to get into that IP address and watch the surveillance camera, or maybe there's a server right here for the backup. They do not want anything to cross over. So that's the purpose of the VLAN. You're separating the manager or the department, the production, the IT, whatever is important in your business, you're trying to separate them so that this department level 1 is not contaminating level 2, or vice versa, level 2 is not contaminating number 3 or number 1. So they're all being separate. You have your own little world, they have their own little world. That is what the VLAN is for. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing I like to do is to hook up my computer, and of course I need to kind of set up here on my screen, making sure that you are able to see it. Maybe I should do Microsoft Edge. Okay. All right, let's try. All right, you can see me. We are live. No, sorry, we are still recording. So here I have my PC. Okay, as you can see, this is connected to my PC. What you want to do is just going to plug it into LAN 4 right here. Okay, so you can plug it into LAN 4 for now. So let's plug it into LAN 4. Okay, that's PC LAN 4. Sorry, my cable is not long enough. So PC LAN 4, it is flashing, and then here is my another cable, which is the internet service provider, the modem coming from the provider. I'll plug it into LAN 1. Okay, so port 1, WAN 1, sorry about that. And I'm gonna bring my keyboard here a little bit. I need my keyboard, and there you go. You guys should be able to see it here. Okay. All right, so what I need to do is pretty much just jump right into the configuration. Over here, you want to type it in 192.168.0.1. I believe that is the IP for the TP-Link. All right, so go ahead and set up username, password. So type in. All right, so now once you're in this system, this TP-Link system, let me make the screen a little bit smaller so that you guys can have a bigger space to see my screen. Okay, I'll leave it here. All right, so if you can see that the system is working, let's go to network. So I want to talk about WAN. Here you can see by default the SPF WAN is already enabled. All right, and then the WAN for port 1 is already enabled. All right, so like I said, if you have a failover, let's just say you sign up for another company, you want to go ahead and select that to be on. Okay, you can click save. So technically you're turning on WAN for port 2. Okay, so the router is going to restart. Okay, let's wait for the router to restart. Hopefully you guys can see the lighting. I'm trying to have the lighting so that you can follow along with the restart process and the waiting time. Alright, it looks like the page just went out. Hopefully the light comes back on. Nothing is on yet, so let's just wait for a little bit more. Yeah, it looks like the restart is taking some time, so I'm going to skip that WAN port 3 for now because I do not want you guys to wait, and this is just ridiculously long. But if you do have the third internet provider, I doubt it, because you do not want to pay for 3 internet provider just in case of this fail over the internet downtime. More likely I would say you have out of power, like the power went off, rather than the internet went off. Okay, now they're coming back on, so let's go ahead and refresh the page. All right, we are back at it. Let's go ahead and log in. All right, so there you go. We can go back to network and see that we have WAN turn on as the secondary. So what you want to do is you want to click on WAN, and here, so sorry, let me not fast forward. So here you can have the WAN mode, right? You turn on the mode. SFP WAN is on this one. You can change it to static or whatever the provider is, but because we don't have it, so I'm not going to touch that. It says status is disconnected. WAN is the one that I plug it in here. You can see that it's being connected and it's pulling an IP address off of my internet provider. I'm using a dynamic IP here, so but if you have a static IP, all you have to do is just put a static IP here. Now when you do to the WAN on this part, you see how it's being disconnected and is set to DHCP. Let's just say we change it over. Okay, we change it over to that one. You still have to manually click connect. All right, I don't think if fail over would run it by itself. I hope they do. Let me see if they do pick it up by itself. Oh yeah, it does. It does. So which is good. All right, I was thinking to tell you, like, if it doesn't connect, you just have to click the connect button here to connect yourself, or you can disconnect it. So you can choose whichever internet provider you want to connect and disconnect. and here you just want to set a static IP address. If you know your provider's static IP address, put it in here. Subnet mask, default gateway, primary DNS, and secondary, and click save. That you should be able to do it. You just have to get the static IP address from your internet service provider. Okay, let's move on to the LAN. By default, the LAN is already created here. That's why we have an IP address which is 192.168.0.1. That's how we log into the router. All right, so what I wanted to do is to show you how we are going to, you see that VLAN here? Okay, LAN, okay, VLAN 1. VLAN 1, the ID 1, that has the 3, 4, and 5. So 3, 4, and 5 ports are open, right? So that is for LAN. Now what you can do, what you want to do, or what you can do is you can go to LAN, you can add. Okay, let's just say we create a name. What name I'm going to put? I'm going to put this name as level 2, or no, let's just put level 1 production. Okay, so sorry, level 1, sorry, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to put level 1. Okay, we are going to do level 1, meaning that we're going to set it up for the CEO, right? The level 1 CEO. Okay, IP address, we're going to do 10.20.10.1. that's what we wrote it here. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. VLAN, we're going to put 2. Okay, and starting IP address 10.20.10.2. starting from 2, we are going to end it at 10.20.10. I don't know, there's only few CEO in there, so I'm just gonna put 10. So we have 10. We have 8 IP addresses available for use. Default gateway, optional, which is 10.20.10.1. DNS, this is optional, we don't have it. DNS, I like it to be controlled by my router. If not, you can just put it 8.8.8.8. you click OK. So we have created a level 1 CEO, VLAN 2. Okay, that is the IP address. So we go to VLAN, you can automatically see that the VLAN 2 is created, the ID, and this is for level of CEO 1, level 1 CEO. So you click edit, and what you want to do is you can uncheck these boxes, right? So let me say I go untag. I'm not sure what is tag means and untag means, but I'm just going to do untag for now and click OK. So I pick port, I keep dropping the router. I pick the port 4. So VLAN 1, as you can see that the VLAN 1, 3, 4, and 5. So I need to actually edit this one and check for the 5. We'll be using the 3 and the 4. So I uncheck the 3. Okay, so we have ports 5, okay, for CEO. This is port 5 for CEO. So I'm going to connect my computer to port 5. As you can see that the IP address might change. So I have here, so I have the 192.168.0.149. that is the IP now. So let's go ahead and disconnect this and plug it into port 5. So I'm separating the VLAN to port 5. See if I get an IP. Yep, I have an IP 10.20.10.10, right? That was the max I gave it to, and I still have internet. All right, so internet still runs. So what it means is we have just switched it over. So when anybody who connected to port 5, right, port 5, which is CEO level 1, meaning the floor level 1 for CEO. That is the IP address. Let's do it one more time. All right, so let's click on the LAN. We need to log back in. So let's go back to LAN. Okay, so we have created VLAN 2. Okay, now I'm going to create a VLAN 3 for IT department. So I'm going to click add, this little add here, add. I'm going to name this as IT department. IP address 192.168.100.1.255.255.255.0, VLAN number 3. Okay, so this is the VLAN 3. Invalid character format, only letters, digits, or IT. Just put IT. I'm just going to name this as IT for now. Starting IP address 192.168.100. We're going to start it at .100.100. Okay. That is the starting IP address 192.168.100.105. There's only 5 IT guys in the IT department. You know what? Just gonna be .2. There are 2 IT guys in the IT department. That's all we got, right? DNS, let's do 192.168.100. What do you think? It's gonna be .1 because we wanted to point it back to the router 8.8.8.8, and then we're going to click OK. So we have created a name. Okay, we have created a name for IT. VLAN number 3, which is this one here, 192.168.1.1, which is the IP address for the router to get in, and there's a subnet mask. All right, it's enabled. So we go back to VLAN here on the left column. You can see it's automatically it picks it up VLAN 3, which is this one. However, you see that it says tag. It tagged 3, 4, and 5, and then description names IT. Now you're going to click edit here. We only want port 4 to be IT. We're going to label this port 4 for IT. So what we do is we uncheck the third one, right? Because the third one we are not using it for the internet provider. We're going to uncheck the 5th one because the 5th one is only for the CEO. So we only have the 4th left. So we leave the 4th checked. Number 4 is checked, but then what we do is we're going to select untag. Okay, I'm not sure what tag is. I know that untag works, so I'm just going to stay with untag. But if you know what tag and untag means, can you please tell me in a comment below? And then you're just going to click OK. And we have VLAN set up for IT. So assuming that this cable here is for IT, when I plug it in, now I'm in this world. I'm no longer talking to the CEO. My IP address have changed. I'm no longer the 10.20. Okay, so let's go ahead and check my IP here. So we are going to disconnect, disable, enable, and check my IP. I have 192.168. Oh, you know why? .0.1. Why? Because the VLAN 1 is taking over. They are both the same port. So I'm going to change the operation and check the 4th. You know what? Check the 3 and check the 4th. So I'm putting the VLAN 1, because the VLAN 1 by default was already set up. So let's go ahead and uncheck this VLAN. Okay, make the VLAN 1 for port 3. Okay, and VLAN 3 for port 4. You get it? Okay, so let's go ahead and disconnect, reconnect, and I should be able to see my IP address of 192.168.100.2. so I have the IP address of 102. Got it? I hope that this helps. Let's talk about port forwarding. How are you going to do port forwarding? Port forwarding, where are you? Network. Every time you change the VLAN, you need to log back in, so which is a good thing. I'm going to talk about port forwarding. I think it's called routing. Nope, it's not routing. It's under net. Okay, so under net, and then here you want to click on virtual server. Under virtual server, you can click add, and add here you can name it as RDP. Let's just say remote desktop service interface. We are going to interface for what? Are we going to interface for WAN port or the WAN LAN 1? Okay, so you need to identify we are using this one here, so we're going to select that. External port, what is the RDP port? 3389. So we're going to 3389. Internal IP would be 102. So I'm going to do an RTP on my computer. We have the TCP and UDP allowed, and click OK. So as you can see, that's how you do a port forwarding for your computer. If you want to do a remote 3389, that's how you do it. Let's do another one here. You go on to transmission, net, virtual server, click on the add, name it. I'm going to name this one as security camera. Okay, interface. What does it say? Why can't I do it? Only digits, and it's not allowed. No. Okay, we're gonna say security camera. Select the right WAN port. Let's just say security camera is what, 9000. Usually they're high. 9000, and then you need to find your security IP, which is the 192.168.100.101 or 103, whatever, right? If you want it to be on the CEO side of it, you can just find that IP address of the camera and then click OK to enable it. All right, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that this is helpful. I know I talk a lot, explain about the whole detail things. Hopefully it's not a boring video. I hope that you learned something. If you do find this video is helpful, please smash the like button for me. I really appreciate you for doing that. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate you for subscribing. So check out the link down description below. I will link it where you can buy the router from. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye now.